had said that we did have a couple of games that went down over the weekend, and within the West Nile Regional League match day 3, the results came through as follows. We did see Nebi Central beating in Paida United 2-1, and then Okolo Central beat Ovisoni Football Club 5-0, and then Kuluva Rainbow managed to beat there is a Pakwach Youngsters 2-1. That was at Hospital View Arena, and then also Arua Airfield managed to scoop in their very first win over the season. Remember, they have been having a bad run in there is a regional league under the stewardship of Mr. Ibrahim Faizo, commonly called as Anini. He did pick his very first win at Greenlight Stadium Unduparaka on Parombo Missions, and that game ended on 1-0 in favor of Arua Airfield. And then Arua City also did host there is Alpha Rising Stars, if you like. You can call them Alia Football Club, and we did see Arua City losing to Alpha Rising Stars 2 goals. There is 2-1, and then Nile Hippos beat Padea Rising Stars 1-0 as well. And then in Nile Zone, we did see Araka Football Club taking on Jumani Town Council, and this game ended on a barren 0-0. And then Anruvu Football Club did lose out to Ottoman Football Club 1-0. And then also Barakala City lost to Total 3-0, and then Koboko Rising Stars did beat Tipsha 1-0 in there. And then somehow Okokoro United won 3-1 against Kochi Urban, and then Nyangilia played 3-3 with Odram Chapo. Quite interesting results that came through from the regional league.
Yeah, interestingly, some key games that I wanted I should be taking interest on. One of them is the game of a youngster and Kuluva, a game that I watched, and then Arua Airfield, I think, doing well. We did also see the team of Nyangilia or Kokoro. I think that was a good encounter, but I want to start with the bad one for that is Kochi Urban, who probably you could say a team that very many had fears on when the season was starting, and of course comparing them to the previous season that they have been doing, I think it has been so marvelous that they have been doing good. They did recruitments, and one of the players that they signed from Onduparaka Football Club, Boy Fazalino, you see him every day in Arua here. Of course, not being with a team, that shows you that there's something that is not happening probably rightly for this player, and yet he picked on sign-on fee. So I think the misery is that coaching needs to be one big thing to talk about, because I don't see things work out the way they really could have expected. Out of that, you would see that chances created, chances converted are very minimal at Kochi. You will not see them that they have created very many chances and squandered them. No, they are not scoring, and they are not getting the opportunities to score these games. So I think it's so challenging that this has been for the team of Kochi Urban. I want to say that Lucy, I think, needs to do more, either by reshuffling the technical team or making sure that the team has to get back, because if I'm not mistaken, Kochi should be at the rock bottom right now, because I don't think they have won any game. It is so challenging to a team like this that very many expect to see the best, because the competition has been Kochi, Araka, Total in the Yumbe side. But now if you have such people and they are not performing, then you expect a lot of things that probably will be of a problem. But all in all, I want to say that the teams are still not. It's not yet too late, because they are just, I think this is the third game that is there. They can still change things, but the way you push it, the way you're moving, shows what exactly you need to do. The way you start a game is very key also for you to push. We've seen it's not like regional league is not like the big league where you see the point gap is very slender, very small, that any win today takes you to another position. No, so it's one of the biggest things that I think coaching needs to work upon to see that they get to the right position where they're supposed to be. Number 2 is about the game of Nyangilia and Odramachako. Odramachako and Nyangilia has they have a very good team. First of all, they have the two sides have some players from Onduparaka Football Club, who are under double licensing. Let's talk about Sabir Noah, who is double licensed at Odramachaku, and yesterday he was one of the names that you could see play for, that is Odramachaku. Then you have Nyangilia that has names to, around 2 players, Lataro Musa, who has not yet by the come to the camp, and then you have also the man by the names of Alan Chigundu, who was also in for another game away from here with the Duparaka yesterday. So he is also one name that you could be talking about. So this shows you that there's a lot that these teams have, but out of that still, you see that they are quality players these teams have gotten. Let's talk about the coaching staff. Of course, an experienced Adiga Morris, who has been in the league for quite a long time, against, of course, the man, very many call him Lolo, who, of course, has been right there for the team of Odramachaku. Yes, Odramachaku, I can tell you, started trainings late and they have not been that side, but I think due to this week, this few weeks that they have been in the league, yes, they have gotten to see that they need to adopt and acclimatize to the style of play that the coach wants them to play. And indeed, I believe they're a team to look into yet, because they are really trying so much. That win, that draw keeps them least relevant, because right now they are at number 7. They have not won, of course, much. They have played 1 draw, they have lost 1, and of course won once. That means there are 4 points to their name. So it gives you a question of what next? Because 3 games played, you have a loss, you have a draw, you have this. I think statistically one would say it's not yet bad, that they can still improve and get to where they belong. But for a serious team that you would be there, you're already having a gap difference, because it's not much. You have a gap difference of around 3 to see that you see yourself onto the table. So it's a very big game to talk about, and I want to say that Team Odramachaku and Nyangilia are teams to be watched upon, because Nyangilia is number 2nd. As I talk right now, they have 7 points. And in January, I'm expecting more recruitments for these teams, because I'm already seeing different calls from the likes of Nyangilia Football Club, of course Adiga, knowing his players best, also trying to push in there. Remember, before Adiga left here, they assembled a team for that is Kuluva Rainbow. He was there, he assembled that team, you're seeing that is now doing very well at that is Kuluva. So this means that him being there is a very, very big statement to talk about, because what if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't work like the way you expected? Yes, you will obviously have to ask for a question, what is not happening and what is really, really happening? So those are some of the big things coming in there. But I think the draw was a very good one, because the two sides have good teams. They have very, very superb coaches who know what players to push in there. And that is one brilliant game that I could talk about. But still leaving that there, there's that also big encounter that I want to talk about is the game where you saw Arua City Football Club also trying to at least advance and make sure that things work for them, which did not work the way expected. I talked about it because Arua City did not penetrate where they needed, but they have started on a note that really is not yet well for them. 2 draws, 1 loss. Yes, you have 2 points in 3 games. I think they need to do much more, because the players look unfit. The players look like not getting trained. It shows you what exactly it is. Just imagine the pitch was a better one. Maybe you would expect Leah to have gone, or Alpha Rising Star to have gone furthermore goals in there under the stewardship of Olema Hamza, who of course tried so much to see that he gets in there. Remember those days, the name that famously, or someone looking into the grounds that has been there. Of course, I remember when this team was just to its initiation, Benson was a fan of them, and he could tell us what exactly is there, reports to us what exactly comes through from Panduru Stadium, a team, of course, where they could have they got a lot of publicity because of that, because of how they were organized, because of how they structured, and how exactly the team was pushing in there. But all in all, I think the level of organization per now is there. But I can say it's not also yet an easy fixture for Leah, because as Alpha Rising Stars, after they moved that way, this season they have just played still, I should say, the teams that have new into the league. You've played what other team? Airfield, I think. Is it Airfield?
Yes,
No.
we played Airfield.
Airfield. You've played the team of.
From the Aluru region.
Yes, I think Parombo. Then you
region,
have all these games have been home, so you expect a lot of things that are coming. Now you've played only Arua City, that is a team. Okay, that has been their last season, but a rusty Arua City Football Club, I should say, who of course technically you would see that had challenges because you can't leave your best players on bench and get average players to start for you against a team like Alpha Rising Star that is looking at of course currently I should say they're even on the table. Yeah, they're on the table. So you see that is a big yes. I know you may want to instill discipline or install discipline into the players, but the same players you left out, I think, came and changed the game. You would see that the second half was a little bit vivid after these players came in there. Sometimes as the coaches, we take actions, yes, but sometimes again you really need to defend this. Just imagine if Arua City got a draw, what would happen? Maybe that would be a very good. They would say, okay, they started on a good note. So a lot of things need to be done at Arua City. If it is lack of support, I think the support has to come from the council. They should make sure that this works out. But if it's again a lack of players not wanting to train, then that shows that the players are in discipline. What are the coaches doing? Let's install the disciplines in them. But if you're going to install disciplines because of match day that you're not going to play, then you're going to fail. What if all of them don't come for training? What are you going to do? And so those are some of the things that we really need to put in there. Change. Maybe this is the time you give someone and he changes the style of play, and then he will realize that, okay, this maybe I was doing bad. If I was fit, then I would have scored more goals. If you encourage them in this way, maybe they would be coming. Another game I want to talk about in the regional league is the Kuluva against Young Stars, a game that I personally watched myself. I think Mr. Opio Isaac has to do a lot as the chairman of the team. But doing a lot means also there are a lot of things, not only him, the community also needs to come aboard to see that they support these teams. Why am I saying this? You know, there's one mindset that people have now changed, I mean that has changed the football. Initially, even if you go up to the federation, there's nothing like an amateur league or amateur league club getting, there's no contract that binds you and an amateur player by saying that he's going to sign to this, you're supposed to pay him salaries. No, but clubs have taken it upon themselves to say that we shall give you appreciations here and there. And that's why players are playing. I was told Foden, I think this guy called Foden at Alpha, was bought at 3 million. And this is a player who was spotted and taken to Sports Club Villa. They had just told him to wait, keep training with the team. By January, they give him a contract. But he preferred the 3 million of Leah than the Sports Club Villa opportunity. Sports Club Villa plays in the first tier of the league. But he was impatient. That's how our players are. You can see someone, maybe you were going to get a sign-on fee of 10 million, and you have just rushed in for the 3 million. The scout came here and was watching him play against Arua City. He was like, yeah, but I thought that this guy is in Kampala. Now he's here because of 3 million. 3 million. So those are some of the things I'm trying to bring. So what am I? How am I trying to set this? You would see that what monies that clubs make are not so much, the regional league clubs, but they have to travel for games. Just imagine, I'm being told that the last game that these players of Pakwach had, they were not given their allowances, something which is understandable, even up to other clubs. Sometimes they don't give you the allowances just to, because the management knows there's a big task ahead. But the players had to boycott trainings, say no, we're not, and strike. I think that's not a best way. Why am I saying that the management under the stewardship of Mr. Pio should do a lot is, these players, or when you're signing these players, let's be real to them. Tell them what the rule says. Then tell them what we want from them to achieve what is there. Does Pakwach Youngsters have a sponsor that you as a player you could come and make noise about? They get collection. Then the next day you need to travel for an away game. Who is going to pay for the transport? From there they had to come to Arua. When we always travel to, from here to Arua, the least money that costs us is, let's say, around 500,000. That is if you're getting your car, fueling and moving. What about that number of players? And for us, we are few. You need to travel, get the van, you need to eat, you need to do this. You have to get the first aid for the game, and then after here you have to pay allowances. Just imagine, that is you. But individually, let's say if West Nile TV is going, that's roughly you're having such a money. Now, you're having a club that has over, you're going to have like over 25 plus people. What are you going to say? So I think players also need to understand that these are something that is, you need to understand each other to achieve the best. Just imagine you're the table leaders and you win, you get to big league. And win the big league, get there, you get a sponsor. You are the one who benefits. By the way, most of the time, it's the players that benefit out of all these sponsorship packages and the rest. So I think that is where they are. And Kuluva had their early goals by Brian Kubo, who of course is also a coach player at Kuluva Rainbow, because they don't have a coach that you could say. They have a guy, one of the persons helping. But he had a good one, and the body language, or the carelessness, the rustiness of the team of Youngster caused them this. Otherwise, they had a very good display. Then the pitch did not also favor anyway the two sides, but Kuluva had already understood their pitch very well. That's why they took everything, every chance in there. It was 2-1, very good goal for Kuluva. For Kuluva, yeah, the 2 goals. But also Youngster had also a very good goal that came through, but they couldn't now do anything because it was too late for them to open their eyes. But they played a very good game. So it's just about changing the mindset, if possible, getting the right persons. Because I'm told change. Of course, players are all about the mindset. When you put the mind there, you're going to see them change and get the best out of whatever you need from these clubs.
A couple of interesting analysis and in-depth analysis are coming through from there is my colleague host Owen. Still about there is a Pakwach Youngsters meant to understand that Opio Isaac is the club manager and the chairman is Father Uhuru in there. Much as they did lose that very game to Kuluva Rainbow, starting today, Pakwach Youngsters will be doing a double training session because this week they have 2 games. One will be at St. Mary's match where they will be playing there is an Central, and then in there is the Uganda Cup. They have Yohana to also play, I think, tomorrow in there. So basically, it's going to be a tough one, and Muzamil Okura is coming through from Baida. He says Nebi Central must follow on Sunday. How about the Stanbic Cup that you guys have Johanna to play? So this quite is going to be a very challenging one for there is for Pakwach Youngsters doing double training, and then in a week you have 2 games. It's quite a lot. Just like you had said, these people need to handle players very well. They need to deal with them very well. I'm seeing Muzamil refuting in some of the words that actually we are saying here. Muzamil, thank you so much for keeping it alert to there is West Nile TV.
Trust me, if that's how, I just want to say, if that's how Youngster is going to play for the entire season, then I can bet you that we are seeing them again in the regional league. That is one thing I can give you. 2, if the body language of the players are going to still remain the same, then I don't see that. Because, why am I saying this? I've been in football for quite a long time. It's just a mindset. Look at Manchester United. United has been under Ten Hag, and you would see that everything is messy because everybody is demotivated. But just a few things. What have they done? They're getting wins, they're getting draws. The goals that were not coming are coming because it's all about mindset. So if it's about the cash, if your mind is going to be the money, then trust me, it's going to demoralize. But again, you can reason with the team or reason with the club that yes, it's true, these players also have families to feed. These are somebody's husbands, somebody's children that also need to feed the family. But again, I can tell you the source is very little. Muzamil may refute, but for us, we will give you whatever is there, and they get time to come and refute. But that's the reality right about now that the club is facing. Trust me, even if you're going to do 3 sessions when the mindset is not clear, still you're going to fail. Why am I saying you're going to fail? Because the mind is not ready for the game. You've exhausted the mind in other things. But when your focus is, we need to win this. A case at hand, yesterday Braga played against Sporting Lisbon. First half was 2-0 by Braga. But the mind of, we need to win for the coach because he's leaving us. We need to make him go through this and gets the... It's the only thing that changed the game. In the dressing room, Amorim went and made a lot of noise to them. You guys, do you want to fail me? You want me to go when I'm ashamed and this? That's the same thing he used the strategy to win against Manchester City. So for players, it's all about this. Maybe because those ones were professional and they understood it very fast and came back and fought for the team. 4-2. But for us here, first of all, our clubs don't have even physiotherapists who can do this. They don't have counselors who would give us the mind to work on this. So tell Muzamil, unless they change or bring the mindset of the players that it's not about money per now, it is about, I know he's watching anyway, it's not about money. Muzamil, tell the people or your team that unless we are going to change the mindset of the players, you're going to win. And if that is not the case, I can assure you, you will call me here that they will lose to Nebbi Central. Because Nebbi is setting everything right, player-wise, and I can bet you that the quality of players at Nebbi Central that I saw is so different from the Pakwach. At least the 2 sides I've watched. Though I've not watched a league for Nebbi, but I've watched their friendlies. In fact, that is one thing that I would want to say, that quality of players and putting their mindset right is going to help them. Pakwach has good players, but they just need that mindset change to achieve the best out of the team, and they are still going to compete. But this time around, the competition that you're going to finish top this, unless the players are going to be right, because the rest of the teams are flying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The table also is taking shape, and as we sign off for first half, this is how the table looks like after match day 3. For Nile Zone on top of the league, we have now Jumani Town Council that has 7 points in position number 2. We have a Total that has 6 points in position number 3. We have Nyangilia Super Eagles that has also 6 points. Position number 4 is Koboko Rising Stars that has 6 points. Position number 5 is Tipsha with 5 points, and then position number 6 is Raka Football Club that has accumulated 4 points, and then Barakala City sits in position number 7 with also 4 points, and then Okokore United sits in position number 8 after there is accumulating 3 points, and then in the 9th position we have Udramchako that has 3 points, and then Jumbe Hot Spurs sits in position number 10 in there with 3 points, and then Kochi Urban and or Andruvu in the very last position. That's how the table standings for Nile Zone looks like after match day 3. And then for Nyagaki Zone, we have there is Alpha Rising Stars sits in position number 1 with of course 9 points, and then in position number 2 we have Nile Hippos with 7 points. Position number 3 sits at Nebbi Central, and they have accumulated 6 points to their names. And then position number 4 has Kluva Rainbow that has 6 points. Position number 5 is Pakwach Young Stars that has accumulated 4 points. Position number 6 is Paida United that has 4 points. Position number 7 we have Okolo Central that has accumulated 3 points. 3 points also in position number 8 is Parombo Missions that we did see lose out to Arua Airfield. And then Padea Rising Stars has 3 points, and they sit in position number 9. And then Arua Airfield sits in the 10th position with 3 points. Then Arua City has 2 points, and Ovisoni has 1 point. They sit last in. There is the Nyagaki Zone table standings regional league in there. We are off for a very short commercial break. We shall be returning.